I have my good friend Remix in the analyst seat helping me out as we start the games off. But what are you kind of expecting from these teams, man?
I'm expecting a fun, exciting game to watch, but I don't know if they'll be bringing their A game on both ends because, you know, one team has the drama going on, BirdGang. They're going to have some roster changes happening, and also Monkey Spanner. They feel like their team will actually get weaker with the loss of Tootie going back to Singapore, you know, after a short stay in Korea. And he has shown to be quite an asset on this team, so I don't know what to expect, honestly, but you have the first bans here. Looks like respect bans for MP and Karn respectively. They ban out the Invoker for Monkey Spanner, and they ban out the Clinks for BirdGang.
Yeah, no surprise there at all, as you're saying, Remix. I mean, Karn, he likes to think his signature hero is the Clinks, and they also banned out the Lycan smartly as well. That's another very strong hero that don't want to see nowadays, and Doom pretty much counters. Who doesn't he counter, you know? It's Doom for crying out loud. Monkey Spanner are going to go ahead and do a first pick Ancient Apparition. I do want to note that Monkey Spanner does not like Ember Spirit a lot, so that's why we're not seeing him get first pick on their end. But BirdGang, you know, maybe we'll see that early Ember Spirit.
Well, AA is definitely strong all around. In the laning phase, in the mid game, in the late game. He does have an impact for having the least amount of farm as a support, because there's not that many items you need and you're not standing on the front lines. So, and you see right now BirdGang just picked up the Bat Rider as well as the Shadow Shaman Rasta.
Yeah, I mean, two very strong heroes all around. We're going to probably see that Bat Rider in the off lane where he's really strong on the Radiant end, and Shadow Shaman as well is just an amazing pick. But the Puck, he loves his Ancient Apparition. I mean, there's no doubt about that. He has been playing him a lot in the KDL.
Well,
and
yeah, Park likes to play those really annoying heroes that get to you and get under your skin.
Yeah. As far as Monkey Spanner's remaining draft go, I am anticipating that they put Brewmaster in the mid lane, get that Panda action going on, and maybe we'll see a little bit of an offensive tri-lane with the two Crystal supports with another random carry, and then maybe Karn will be handling the Bristleback in the solo safe lane. We'll have to wait and see exactly how the rest of the draft ends up for Monkey Spanner.
Yeah, but just one thing of note, when BirdGang takes that Bat Rider up, they're looking to initiate early and then snowball off any kills they can find. They like to get some kills and stay in the fight, stay in the lanes, keep pushing, so this combination can work out pretty well for them.
Well, they've decided to pick up Io, and I know BirdGang does like to run Tiny, and we just saw the camera switch to Carmen. As soon as he saw that pick, he started laughing, probably reminiscing about the last game that they played against MVP Hot 6 where they picked 4 support heroes. And Io was one of them, and just things did not work out in their favor whatsoever. But yeah, there's the Tiny. We're going to see a Windrunner as well, so maybe that'll be the offlaner, and we could see Karn as a position 1 and Bristleback. We will have to wait and see, but I was right on that pick.
Well, I do see the Bristleback being a position 1, but I also do feel that they could be looking to go aggressive tri-lane here.
Yeah?
Because you have a Bristleback against a Bat Rider, most likely, and that's a matchup where you'll see the Bat Rider getting forced back a lot just due to the spikes, and Karn will get his free farm, assuming that he does play the carry role Bristleback.
Yep, that's true. And it looks like that's going to be an MP Queen of Pain. So the lines, as far as laning go, pretty obvious on BirdGang's end. And Monkey Spanner, I believe they're just missing their mid hero. Nasi?
Well, that Queen of Pain could possibly not be
Hey,
MP.
I was right, man. It is Brewmaster.
Oh, the Queen of Pain will be played by Ju, actually.
Oh, okay. I was expecting MP on that, but yeah. I guess the heroes have been picked and banned out. And this is actually the first time Brewmaster has been picked in the KDL, so I'm excited to see how MKS is going to utilize that hero. And it's time to move into the first game of the night. Best of 3 between Monkey Spanner and BirdGang here at the KDL with Whiplash and Remix.
One good thing about this match is that for sure you're not expecting to see some cheesy strat, you know? Like you do see with some of the other tier 2 teams, say like Nemesis, for example. Wait,
I mean, that's kind of the prime example.
Are there any other teams that resort to that kind of play? I don't know. I haven't watched all the matches.
Not really. I mean, there are teams that have gone for some like push-centric strategies in the past, but not to the level that Nemesis tries to pull them off. And we're going to have a little bit of a pause here, but already, based on the mini-map, we have a good idea of how these lanes are going to go. It does seem to be that Windrunner is going to be played in more of a farming role and part of that offensive tri-lane, which is not something that's seen too often. I mean, how often do you see a Windrunner as like the main farm in an offensive tri-lane?
Oh, not too often, but you have to consider that they have 3 ranged heroes against a Batrider, which could be potentially dangerous and have to force him to the jungle, which leaves him open to more ganks. And right now, this Windrunner has a pretty long range to harass, and you also have to consider, what if he gets frostbitten into a perfect, you know, into a perfect arrow,
it's gonna
gets
strap him in
shackled
his
up,
tracks.
and then he gets frozen in place. That's a guaranteed kill.
And also another thing to point out, this Batrider is not in the off lane, so he's not going to be able to take advantage of that normal jungle path that you would with the Batrider on the radiant end. And they're deciding to put the IO Tiny in the top lane with Shadow Shaman helping out as well. I think BirdGang actually, they're going to try to dodge this tri-lane, and smartly so, but maybe Shadow Shaman will kind of rotate around towards the mid for a little bit and help out the Queen of Pain against this Brewmaster for the time being, but he's pretty darn tanking. I don't think he'll fall to an easy first blood, and he's already going to... Oh, okay, the invisibility is revealed. There's just not enough DPS to take out this Panda early on. He's quite tanky, so he'll be okay for the time being, just annoyed at most.
I feel like they could have harassed him a little bit more, at least throw down the shackles and hit him a few more times, because he's only carrying, what, 2 tangos on him that his teammates passed to him, so it's going to be a little bit harder for him to get his bottle sooner, so
Yep,
a little disappointed, but...
A little nitpicky, I'd say. No, it's so good. I mean, these are pro players. We kind of have to analyze them. But there's going to be a lot of action in the top lane. Karna shackled up, following the avalanche, and we see Fatley doing an amazing job with the body blocking. There's the first blood, the Sky. Well played by BirdGang and Monkey Spanner. I think they were expecting to get the advantage as far as the laning goes, but that's certainly not the case.
Well, at level 1, you have to consider that the shackles are a really, really long disable, and they are a reliable. It's a reliable disable. You know, it's not a skill that you throw out and you miss. It's something. It's a target spell. So
it's not a skill shot.
Yep, it's not a skill shot. It's just straight up. You shackle them, and they're getting shackled. So.
Oh, holy crap! Karn may end up dying again. The 3-hero body block is doing absolute work in this top lane. Karn already giving up 2 kills towards the gang of birds. Not looking to be the best of a start for Monkey Spanner. But they are going to bring 2 of their supports. Both 4885 and the Park are smoked up and looking to potentially rotate onto this Queen of Pain. And Quap is revealed. She used her blink as well, and the invisibility rune will be picked up by 4885. Down goes the Queen of Pain. Very, very good rotation support, and just unlucky blink coming out from the Queen of Pain. That could have not happened at a worse time.
Yeah, usually they try to blink to get the rune and safely secure it, but this worked out in favor of the other team because the blink was on cooldown and just got frozen in place.
Yeah, but, you know, Quap still has her bottle, and up to 15 last hits already, so not doing bad at all by any stretch of the imagination compared to this Panda, which is 7-0 currently, but the supports have rotated towards that top lane, and it's just going to turn into a 1v1 scenario between the Batrider and the Windrunner in this bottom lane. How do these guys go toe-to-toe?
I mean, if you get those stacks of sticky napalm, it is pretty annoying because it slows down your turn speed as well as your attack motion or animation. So It might be a little hard to get those last hits early on, but with all those trees there, it's going to be pretty easy to latch a shackle, just like that.
Nace forced to use some bottle charge, and he is low on health. The bottle keeping him alive, and Febby actually may have falling. He uses the salve, but the last hit, it's not available, and we're going to see Febby tether away.
Nase just let him go right there.
Nase let him go. That was supposed to be a guaranteed kill on the IO. Definitely a mistake from Monkey Spanner.
Well, he's just playing it safe because there's no vision up that hill, and you don't know what could be waiting. You could have another support there, or maybe even two. And at the moment, he's just trying to stay in the lane and compete with Akasha.
Yeah, I guess so. He's certainly playing the safe game. I'm one to take risks when it comes to DOTA2. I do enjoy a good dive every now and then. But IO has picked up his bottle and grabbed the regeneration as rune for the mid lane. He's just going to be helping JYU in this mid lane for the time being. And Quap is topping the charts as far as last hits go, already up to 27. And that Wisp being especially annoying. There's actually a very big dive on Nace. He's still tanky
harassing.
though. It is harassing. But 2D in a lot of trouble on this bottom lane.
He's going down.
The Nuke's forced to use his charges. It's not enough. He will fall. Yeah.
The one thing you have to note that the timing on the shackles, that was pretty much perfect, because as soon as the Windrun used the Windrun skill, he had him shackled down, so after there's no way to avoid those right clicks.
Yeah. Well, the Shadow Shaman already up to two kills, and I believe if he's saving up for a Blink Dagger, he's going to have it by the... Man, maybe not by this point, but pretty soon. I don't know what he bought, but he didn't have any money in his inventory.
So you have the Wisp. They just picked up the Urn of Shadows, and like you said, the Shadow Shaman is making an impact early on, which it should be making because it is a pretty strong support in terms of lockdown and disable. So they're taking full advantage of that early on, but we'll see what happens sooner. I guess soon it won't be as effective.
He's in a lot of trouble, but as I say that, he just does the Wombo combo and turns that Crystal Maiden to ice. Meanwhile, the Wisp keeping his ally and Comrade in Arms alive.
Wait, so there was a Crystal Maiden there? I just saw something get smashed. It looked like a creep.
It was a little bit of ice.
Okay.
We actually switched to the winter version of this map for a few seconds there. That's why you saw that ice on the ground.
Well, they do have two ice-themed characters.
Yeah, that's true. I guess they both kind of turn into ice when they die. I mean, Ancient Apparition is already ice, so I don't really know. He's always ice.
Yeah, he kind of looks like Iceman, but a deformed version.
Yeah, I guess so. I can see it.
Okay, so there is a double damage rune at top, and Rasta will spot that out for the QOP. They might be able to take down the middle Panda, but I doubt it. It's too tanky, and I believe it has the ult available, so...
a little bit more action in the top lane. Karn, though, is a lot tankier than he used to be. And MP, he's going to try to hide in the jungle here, waiting for the toss, and that's actually the death on the part, getting a little bit too over-aggressive. Karn could be next. There's the zap. He is really close to death. But's going to run away. Can Febby get there in time? Yes, he can. Gets that avalanche out of there, and Karn is he's feeding, man. He is not a happy camper this game.
Karn, I feel like, really needs the supports to protect him in the lane, and when they did decide to go down to the bottom lane in the beginning of the game, that really hurt him out in terms of, getting killed first, as well as getting picked up right after he came back to the lane.
Oh, in the middle lane, Nace taking a little bit of harass from this double damaged Quap, but the support for 885 has rotated in. Keep him okay for the time being, but it looks like that Queen of Pain would have loved to just jump in there and try to finish off the Panda before things got a little too crazy. But yeah, like you were saying, Remix, Karn has just not really gotten a lot of help early on in his lane, and that did contribute to 2 early deaths. But I also feel like part of that comes from Monkey Spanner, not correctly thinking and figuring out how the laning was going to work from BirdGang's end.
Well, Karn's not used to playing a lane by himself, so that's one of the factors going against him. Although he is in the safe lane, it is kind of like playing an off-lane role in terms of
if it's
just like,
versus a tri-lane, it basically is.
it's an off-lane, except you're closer to the tower. That's it. So which gives you a false sense of security, especially with an EO tiny. That EO on a tri-lane, it can dive and really punish those heroes with the wisps. So
yeah, but the Crystal Duo is nearby to help out Karn in case things get too dicey. Karn will run away, use the charges as well, but in comes Sky throwing down those Serpent Wards. They're going to turn the Crystal Maiden into ice once again, and Karn actually dies as well. 2D, not in the most amazing of positions. They did kill off the Wisp, but MP, the turnaround comes, but what an amazing shackle. I don't think it's enough, though. Well, man, talk about 2D making it closer than it should be.
I feel like he could throw down another power shot. Karn was taken down by the AI of those Serpent Wards.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
2D.
going after 2D.
Febby decided, did he yeah, he relocated in. I'm looking at that cooldown.
He relocated by himself. Oh, I think he got him.
Oh
he
my
kills
god.
him with the
yeah,
urn. 2D's
he's going to get
down.
him. Wow.
Febby showing some really aggressive play, and it paid off there.
Yeah. And, you know, he actually survived, by the way. Like, he zipped out of there as soon as the relocate was over. That was really impressive. That was a ganking IO by himself. Well, you don't see that every day.
It's not your everyday thing, but it does happen a lot in pubs, especially when you have a hero like 2D was on the Windrunner, very low, used up most of their mana.
Karn, not again. He needs to get out of that lane.
He needs to just go to the jungle or the Ancients and start farming using that Crystal Maiden aura, because he is just nothing he can do there.
Yeah, they have to get out of there. The tier 1 tower will fall as well. So BirdGang getting a little bit of extra cash in their pockets.
They're going to go straight for the tier 2.
You know, another thing I've noticed is they have not been stacking these Ancients at all. We have Crystal Maiden nearby, potentially preparing to stack the Ancients, but this is something that should have happened a long time ago. And if I feel like they actually put 2D as the offlaner with the Bristleback, and they did their standard safe lane tri-lane, even if it was like with the Windrunner, they would have been in a much better position than they are right now.
Well, maybe you can expect to see the Windrunner make some huge plays.
Oh, they're going on him again.
Is this a repeat of what's been happening all the time?
Crystal Maiden teleported to her death.
Karn, if you see the Wisp and the Tiny, just get out of there.
Dude, they don't even really need to abuse this relocate. Panda's going to go ahead, throw out a rock, stun the other rock, and the DPS, it's enough thanks to 2D's reinforcements. They're going to get another stun on Febby as well. And, oh, there's going to be a tether to an allied creep. Man, this Wisp is a lot more durable than it looks. But I think they're going to be able to right-click 2D down the death thanks to the help of Sky. Sky, though, is going to fall to the big Panda. And it's just a man mode against JYU. And the stomp comes as well, but yeah, Io helping out. And Karn, no, you got to get out of there, man. You do not want to die again. But he has already fed like an insane amount. Crystal Maiden throwing out the freezing field to get a few kills on the board. And that was just a real back and forth fight. And Tenbird even deciding to join in, saying, you know what? I'm going to kill you off once more, Crystal Maiden, before I back out of there. Dude, I can't even tell who. I guess BirdGang came out on top of that fight remix, but there were a ridiculous amount of deaths from both teams.
Well, I think they made a better trade because he took down the Panda as well as taking down the Bristleback, two of the core heroes. And what did you lose? You lost the QOP and the Wisp. And the Wisp is already ahead considering how well they did in the lines. And oh, you also got a bonus Crystal Maiden on top of that.
Yeah, that was a double kill on the CM. I also believe they did take out the Shadow Shaman a little bit earlier on in the fight, but something important to note, we do have a few Blink Daggers online for both teams, as the Bat Rider as well as the Brewmaster both picked up their wands around the same amount of time, and Rust is just pasted up looking for someone to potentially pick off.
I believe they have spotted out the Bristleback on the Ancients, and they might just go in with the Haste Rune.
I'm actually really surprised that they didn't relegate Karn to taking out those Ancient stacks a little bit earlier on. Up. There's going to be a nice Shackle. Tenbird's going to blink in as well, but not before the Wisp dies. And Just shoving those heroes away. The Wisp is down.
And at the same time, the Tier 2 for Dire's side, they're going down due to the Rust Awards, and nobody really there to contest it except for the Ancient Apparition.
The creeps finally come to help out, but yeah, you know what? I actually, we have not seen this Ancient Apparition in a while, man. Where has he been this entire time? Has he been trying to get his level 6 or something? Because he's been MIA for
level 6. But he kept dying, trying to back up all the action going on at top.
Not as much as Crystal Feeden, but MP, he's getting a little bit low on health, but I was going to come in as well. The Ice Blast is good. It's going to connect, confirms the kill on the Tiny, and they're going to try to do a little bit of a turnaround. 10 birds nearby. There's a lot of weak heroes, and Tootie's going to fall. The Scream goes out as well. The Puck, he's low on health, but do they have the DPS to finish him off? 10 bird is so slow, trying to throw out a nuke, but it just misses the mark. And it's a 3-for-2 trade. And yeah, Monkey Spanner actually getting the better end of that stick.
It just looks like an out-of-control brawl. Just heroes TPing into the nearest location on the minimap where they see the action going down. They just want to fight, and they just want to kill each other. Looks like no strategy really involved here.
You know what, Remix? I was casting some CIS Dota yesterday. I think like Virtuous Pro was one of the teams, and I think I saw a little bit of Empire as well. We'll hold that thought as JYU is once again jumping in on Karn, but there are a lot of TPs to come help in. JYU blinks away after the freeze. Low on health, but still surviving for the time being. We're going to see a fling of a shackle. But,
oh, there goes the Crystal.
They lost Crystal Maiden, and they're going to lose Tootie as well. This, like I was saying, this is reminding me of some Russian Dota at this point, because it's just non-stop action back and forth. These teams are at each other's throats 24/7.
Well, one thing to note, that this is actually the style of Dota that BG prefers to play. They prefer like fighting consistently. Oh,
he's gonna throw out the ultimate. Buy him a little bit of time. Apart, throwing out the ult.
Febby. Yes, the Wisp goes down.
They get him.
Possibly the Batrider as well as Firefly. Oh, blinks out.
The Panda duration's almost up though, but at least he survives, and the gank kind of becomes a turnaround. He's gonna have to blink home and heal up though, but not a bad trade at all from Monkey Spanner. They got the Wisp, and we have seen Queen of Pain pick up that Orchid. MP, oh man, 2-shot, wombo combo, level 11, alt scepter, man. This Crystal Maiden, I want there to be like a death ticker on the top right corner of the map just for her, because I think Crystal Maiden has died at least like 6 or 7 times at this point.
Well, she just has very low durability, even as she levels up into the early mid-game. Yeah, you get hit by that combo. Not a lot of heroes can survive the tiny combo.
I mean, and it's not like this Crystal Maiden can just pick up a Black King bar or anything like that. That's still like, you know, 15 minutes away, I feel, at this point with the way the game is going. But it looks like Karn and Tootie, they're trying to take out the bottom tower. In comes the relocate as well as a third teleport from the SS. They're going to get a sheep on Karn. It looks like he's stuck in a corner, shackled up, will probably end up falling from the look of things, but quite durable. MP, though, gets the kill on him with the help of JYU. And in the top lane, or not top lane, but in the middle, there's a lot of action going on as well. Crystal Maiden and Bristleback, well, not Crystal Maiden, Bristleback and Windrunner ended up dying, but it was still kind of a semi-trade, as on the other side of the map, we did see the Batrider and the Quap fall.
It just looks like two separate games of Dota going on at the same time, and they just been like put together in the same game. It's just ridiculous. There's fights going on everywhere on the map.
The Shadow Shaman.
And only BG looks like they're coming out ahead because they're getting those towers down. They got the lane positioning. Pretty soon, there's going to be nothing that Monkey Spanner can really do except turtle.
Yeah, and MP. He's going to try to go on Panda. Panda's low, but he's going to use the ult. Karn is pretty high on health. Are we going to see a relocate from Febby to save his ally? It's on cooldown for 15 seconds.
And he gets
thrown
tornadoed.
up into the air, tornadoed. MP falls. And Sky is looking pretty low. He's going to die as well. And that's going to be a potentially Frozen. Tried the tether away, but no. 3 dead. And they do get the tier 2 tower, at least. But, you know, Monkey Spanner, they are slowly turning this game around and getting slightly better trades as the time goes on. We are 18.5 minutes into the game, and it's just been an absolute brawl fest between both ends, with BirdGang leading 24-17. And JYU, he's going to try the jump onto the Panda with Tenbird, and the ultimate's on cooldown. He's going to fall. In comes the Ice Blast. It's going to hit. Gets both of them, actually. 2D throws out a shot. Karn is going to go on him as well. There's a lot of stacks there. It's enough. The Park gets the kill on Tenbird. The big bat falls, but
Tiny and Ju coming back with the Wisp, relocate. Now they're back in a 3-on-3 situation.
for 885. He's going to get killed once again for the bajillionth time. Karn, at this point, he's tanky enough to survive a lot of this harass and team fights, which is what he desperately needed early on the match, but it is allowing him to stay around for a little bit longer. And Quap 6-3, starting to get pretty darn big this game, and that's not even including the Tiny, although he is 5-3. He has a lot of assists, up to 9 to his name. He has that Agnum Scepter and looks to be working into an Assault Cuirass as his next item.
They should just go straight for the Roshan here, because there's no way that the other team can contest unless they have the Panda ult. And there's only one tier 2 tower left remaining at top. You could have send a little force, go up there, drop the wards, while your real objective is getting that Aegis.
Well, I am still a little bit afraid of Monkey Spanner's teamfight potential. You know, you get a good freezing field. You have Bristleback constantly doing a little bit of annoying AoE damage and just disables AA ultimate. Panda comes in, throws down a slam, and then uses his ultimate and starts causing a lot of chaos. It could be, you know, a really annoying situation to deal with, but this is going to turn into a big team fight. But the Park, he gets a good kill, and MP throws out a lot of damage. Holy crap, both of the supports from Monkey Spanner just turn into ice very quickly. Sky, low on mana. He's going to get shackled to death, as well as a power shot follow-up. Look at that, BirdGang. The throws, the turnaround. Monkey Spanner, they're doing it, man. They're doing it.
Yeah, they just got too cocky there. They lost all 5 of their heroes just for that Ancient Apparition and the CM. Also, Rasta's wards have been put down already, and they weren't in any position to hit the building, so that was actually a very good execution by Monkey Spanner. I don't know if they meant to get initiated right there, but it just turned into an initiation gone bad.
Yeah, that was certainly BirdGang being a little too over-aggressive and cocky. But it's 28-23. BirdGang's still in a lead. They have a very large experience gap over Monkey Spanner, but the gold is actually pretty darn close last time they showed the charts. So that is something to keep in mind. And although Tenbird does have his Blink Dagger and the Force Staff, he doesn't have a Black King bar, which is going to be really useful against Monkey Spanner at this stage in the game.
Yeah, but you have Tiny with the highest net worth in the game, and he hurts. That's all I can say.
Yeah. The leveling is actually pretty darn even between the teams, though. Well, I mean, I guess there's a little bit of advantage on BirdGang's end, but as far as the cores go,
even, though.
The cores are looking pretty darn even. Oh, the game's actually decided to calm down for a minute. We have pretty much been casting non-stop action and team fights from both ends, and I'm about to bite my words or eat my words, as we do see the majority of Monkey Spanner rotating around the top lane, moving close to that Tiny and Wisp combination.
But they do see them near the bottom rune. There's a
they see him, Monkey
Dire
Spanner.
Ward, and they look like they could be doing a fake Roshan. I don't know what's going on here, but
Well, there's 4 stacks of that Nasal Goo.
it looks like they'll get another tier 1 tower, and they will go for the Roshan.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, though, that Wisdom needs to take the Tiny there to get the Aegis.
Well, we do see a lot of Monkey Spanner rotating towards the Roshan pit. I think they have an idea of what's going on. And the Shackle Shot is going to reveal. Yeah, throwing out the A ultimate. Oh, wow, Nace, he's going to go in there and try to be aggressive.
Scares them off.
Yeah, so Roshan will remain alive for the time being, but yeah, I have to say, oh no, Ancient Apparition picked off by the Wisp Tiny combo. That means no Ancient Apparition ult for the Roshan fight for at least another 30 seconds. And 4885, I don't know what he's trying to do over here. Yo, gets hit from a scream, shatters in the ice once again. Tootie's got to be very careful. He's going to get hit by that avalanche, tossed in the air, trying the wind walk away. Nice force step onto the high ground, just as the Bat Rider blinks to the bottom. It's a little bit of a shift as far as positioning goes from both teams. And the Ancient Apparition still down for the time being. We're going to see Panda move in there, does a stomp. The ultimate comes out as well. Karn, what's he going to try to do? He doesn't have an amazing amount of DPS. Tiny activates the BKB. We're going to see the AL come out, but it's not making a huge difference. This Tiny is huge. Kills the Crystal Maiden once again. This is not his game. JYU tethered up. They're going after Karn. In comes the puck. He's going to try to help out. Karn is tanky, but I don't think he's tanky enough to survive this team fight. JYU, another blink forward, and Tenbird gets the kill. Man, not a great team fight for Monkey Spanner. Losing everybody. Roshan is going to go to BirdGang. Oh, almost definitely. Certainly. Yeah, he's dead. I think that this may be the beginning of the end for Monkey Spanner.
Well, Whiplash, I think it was the beginning of the end a long time ago, especially with the draft. I mean, most of your fighting power relies on that underfarmed Bristle, as well as the ability cooldown for the Panda. The Panda is pretty much going on your front lines, initiating. He's the tank, he's the damage, and he's the disable.
Yeah, he's got everything that you need. So the tier 3 barracks are going to fall. No glyph to really be involved in this or to make a difference. Queen of Pain also going to pick up a Black King Bar, and man, the tier 3 tower is still alive in the top lane. Or tier 1 tower, I guess.
He just looks like he's having a fun time. He's just farming.
You know what? He never built that Hyperstone into an Assault Cuirass.
He just went for the BKB just to bash away and not get tornadoed or anything.
I can completely understand that. There's a lot of disables and just annoying spells from Monkey Spanner. Ancient Apparition falls once again. We're going to see the rest of Monkey Spanner move in. They're throwing Tiny into the air. The BKB, it's activated. This is one Big Rock doing his best to kind of smash on his opponents, but realizing he needs to hightail it out of there. Where is the rest of the team? We're going to see a buyback from the Wisp. In comes JYU, throws out a screen. The supports are dead. They're going to move on the car next. He's going to be a chicken for the time being. Creeps being thrown in the air as well. The right-click damage from MP. He is just man-moding this Panda.
Tiny smash.
He kills the Brewmaster in the split form. And that means everybody on Monkey Spanner is dead. Down for the count. We're going to see another barracks fall, most likely, and this is just, yeah, I think this is basically it.
This looks like GG. They should be calling it pretty soon. They're just going straight up the middle for the throne.
Yep, looks to be a throne. Yep, there's the GG from Monkey Spanner. Good game, well played, but in the end, BirdGang showing their superiority, and you know, they had one team fight that did not go their way, but it's because they simply straight up they were really overconfident and they engaged in a bad position. But beyond that, well played by BirdGang. A lot of action in this